Hello all, Jamie Rodgers here from Creative Expressions, and today I'm introducing you to my brand new collection. Today is the 14th of November 2023, and as of right now this collection is available through all of your favourite Creative Expressions stockists worldwide. So keep an eye on them because I'm sure it's going to be arriving in store or online, and they're going to be letting you know that they've got this collection in. So get in contact with them and get your favourite bits ordered as soon as possible because we know it's going to sell out. So don't dilly-dally, get your hands on it. Now today we are looking at 6 brand new dies, 4 brand new stencils and a paper pad to boot. So 11 brand new items to tempt you with. Now I'm going to take you to my overhead and we're going to have a little look for all of these and hopefully give you a bit of inspiration on what you could be creating with them. But as always, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to pop them in the comments wherever you're watching this video and I will do my very best to answer them for you. So let's take a little look, shall we? So to begin with, let's look at the paper pad. I always like to get the essential items that you're going to see for lots of the samples over with, so when we see them on the samples we know where they come from. So this is my 3rd vintage textures paper pad. Now something you might not know about Creative Expressions paper pads is once they're sold out they are no longer. So when it's gone, it's gone. If you like the look of this one, grab it very, very quickly. In this vintage textures release, I'm calling this one Candy Clouds. We have got 24 double-sided 8x8 pages. There are 150 GSM. There are 6 double-sided actual designs and you get 4 sheets of each. Now you can see on the front here the colours that we're going to be looking at, but basically with our textures paper pads, what that means is I've designed them to have a texture, but they're actually flat, they're uncoated. It means you can stamp on them, you can fold them, you can die cut them. You really can go to town with them. You can stencil on top of them. It's up to you. They will take your inks, they will take your texture pastes. You can do so many things with a paper like this, and you can jazz it up if you would like to. You can leave it very matte and flat like they are currently, but it's just a way to give you a really cool rainbow of colours that, as you can see, tone on tone work. As we flick through this, you're going to start to see the shades coming up again, but look how they're going to work perfectly for you, and it doesn't matter what side we're looking at, everything's going to coordinate. We can bring around all the options here and show you that that's all going to work for you, and it's such a lovely way to give you those tones. Maybe you're looking at the flowers that we will be shortly and you want the greens for the foliage and the leaves, but you want the pinks for the flowers. I love teal, so you'll see teal in here. I love mint, so you've got that sort of light mint kicking us off as well throughout here. They're all just beautiful papers for you to build up and tell your story on top of. Now, whether you wish to use these for card making, scrapbooking, journaling, home decor, the choice is yours. But this is, of course, as I mentioned, the vintage textures, Candy Clouds, and in there you've got 24 sheets, so lots we can do with this. Just bringing in a couple of bits to share with you, and this is using my new flower die that we'll have a little look at shortly. But I love paper that you can shape, so I've used the dies this time, and I've used an embossing tool on one of our shaping mats, and I've shaped this, and the nice bit is there's no white coming through underneath, there's no other harsh colour showing, and I've gone for quite a domed flower, but when we start doing ones where we're bringing them up in the air quite dramatically, you can see that undertone and it all matches, it's all going to coordinate. If you do wish to do the rose style design with the flower die I'll be sharing with you, of course, then you really do get to see the reverse side of the paper, and it's really nice that it all coordinates and you've got that matching tone coming through. And this is a really lovely way to show you why you really need this paper pad. And again, maybe you want to have your teal and your blue flowers, maybe you want pink flowers, and then you've got them green tones to bring in for the foliage that's going to work really nicely. And of course, as you can see, just tones together work nice too. So if you wanted to do a bouquet of the teals and the pinks and add in the green foliage, it's all going to tie together. It's got that commonality between the texture and the style of the paper. Now, of course, not only can we use these when we're talking about flowers, we can use them for our backgrounds as well. So just a very simple card created here. And yes, Mr. Teddy Bear is coming up. He is one of our brand new dies I will be introducing you to. And I absolutely adore him. He's one to watch. I think he's going to fly off the shelves. But on this card, it's all about the background paper. Again, we can take those papers, we can build up our flowers, we can use them again in the background, so we've got that coordination between the flowers and the backing papers. This time I've even die cut it for my wording, and I've just brought in some of our antique gold, one of the stencils we're going to be looking at, and actually just layered that one up sort of with that coconut white, gold and teal effect. Then bringing in another one here. This time again, we've gone for the flowers, showing you how beautifully this paper is going to shape. And then again, using it in the background as well. Once again, bringing in that antique gold colour scheme with it. One of the script stencils that we'll be looking at shortly, and some texture paste over that one in gold to coordinate. So that's just a few ideas of the paper pad, but you're going to see more of those as we go through the products, I assure you, or the samples. So then we're going to look at the stencils, because you're going to love these. I've got 4 new stencils for you, and stencils are very, very on trend at the moment. We're seeing that time and time again. Stencils are very hard to keep stock of, and you can see why, because there are so many ways we can use them. We can of course put our texture paste through them, we can ink through them, and of course we can put rubber mats or foam mats on them and send them through our machines and use them as embossing plates or folders as such. And to give you an idea of this, this is actually the first stencil I'm sharing with you, which is scattered hearts, and it's used here on this card in the background. But actually the script stencil I'm going to be sharing with you shortly, I've used in the middle, and I've embossed that one using that rubber mat through my embossing machine, and giving me that sort of 2-for-1 value money wise sort of saving effect. I love the way that with a stencil you can use it for so much more than just a stencil. Again, you can do letter pressing with them, you can ink on top of them and send them through your machine, it'll transfer. You can even just do it with a brayer or even rub your hand over it. So many techniques we can achieve with stencils. So that's just one of the cards I want to share with you. Talking of taking prints from what's on top of your stencil, this is one of the cards I've done that with, using some of my Pixie sparkles, and I've actually gone over the top. So I've got the positive, the part that's gone through in the hearts in the stencil, and then once I've done that one, I've taken the actual stencil, turned it on a piece of card, give it a good rub over the top, and it's transferred down onto the card, and I've used that as a background. That's usually the bit we would be washing away and not using, but that's the joy of a stencil. You're going to get that 2-for-1 effect each time. So that one was scattered hearts. We then have for you heart blossoms. Now this one picks up on a similar design I did for my last release, where we had the circle up in the top with flowers around it, but this time we've gone for the heart being the aperture in the middle. Now with the dies in the collection, you have actually got a heart die that you can cut out the middle there as well if you would like to. So if you wish to sink things inside that, you absolutely can do. And I can see this being used all through the year. It doesn't just have to be for weddings or anniversaries, it could just be a nice birthday card. I hate to say this, and I know we don't like talking about them or making them, but I could also see this being used for sympathy cards quite nicely. If you cut the middle out and put a cross in there, or the with sympathy, sort of mute down the flowers slightly, I think it could work in that tone. But of course, this is one that can be used for everything. So here's a card I've created on a wedding theme. And then with a heart this time, I've just brought up on some pads. We'll get to the heart shortly. You're going to see the flowers and the foliage dotted through virtually every card, I believe. You know I get a bit obsessed with flowers. We will look at that one shortly, I promise you. You've also got the mini couple, and you've got some of the sentiments coming in here as well. So all of that will be coming up, but this one is all about that stencil. For the stencil, I've used my glossy glaze in the soft pink. I think it's called blush pink off the top of my head, just over the top there to give that glossy background style. Of course, glossy glaze or the sparkle glaze are great additions to work with your stencils. So we'll pop that one off to one side, and let's bring in the next one. And this one is called Entwined Love, and you can see why straight out the gate, can't you? This is our entwined heart design, and of course, just like all of the others, we can do so much with this. Now this one is actually using my glossy glaze in red over black card, and I thought that was so dramatic. I really liked that. I don't think I ever used the glossy glazes, the sort of brighter colours, over dark card before, and I really thought that looked quite stunning. So do give that a try if you've got the glossy glazes or you get hold of them. It's a nice technique to try. Then, of course, we don't have to be on dark card. We can bring in our sparkle texture pastes. This is one of the sparkle texture pastes. I think it's called Apple Red. I'm terrible with names, so do forgive me. But it's one of the red ones from the Sparkle collection at Cosmic Shimmer, and I've just used that through the stencil to create that background as well. The little hats and the anthracite and the flower, of course, all coming up. The same with this one, the glasses, the Mr. and Mr. all coming up. So don't worry, I will be sharing all of that with you shortly. The last stencil to look at before we move on to the dies is Love Letter. And we have our lovely script. Now, if any of you have been following me for any amount of time, you are going to know I love a script, whether it's a stamp, a die, a folder, or whatever. I just find scripts are brilliant because we can just put them into the background of just about everything, whether you read it or you don't, it doesn't matter. It just gives you that lovely vintage style background, which I certainly think works brilliantly with Valentine's and wedding cards and even birthday cards, just anything really. So this is our love letter script background. And I'm going to share with you a card. I wasn't going to share too many of our design team cards with you today because I like to sort of save them and let them share them with you as they sort of post them. But this one's done by Sheila Walsh and I thought this was beautiful. This is bringing in that lovely floral bouquet from my previous release. We've got our teddy bear front and centre. Isn't he gorgeous? And then we've got our little happy birthday. We've got our matching corners. We're going to see these two shortly. We've got the little hearts from the other dies. And then, of course, we've got that love letter script in the background. Actually just used with one of our glitter texture pastes. It's quite subtle. And I thought that was really quite nice, actually, because it showed you how we could sink that into the background, but yet give us that little hint of vintageness, that glitter. I don't know, it just worked for me and I wanted to share this one with you now. So thank you, Sheila, because that's beautiful. Now then, I've shown you the 4 different stencils. We've gone past the paper pad. Let's move on to some dies. So moving into our first set of dies. Now this is a bit of a different one for us. This is our Sentiment Collections Essentials Set 3. I'm going to try and twist this up so you can see it a bit better. But on here, this is continuing my Sentiments collection. Now, if you've not seen the Sentiments collection already, we've got a Christmas version, we've got a male sentiments, we've got a female sentiments, we've got wedding sentiments, we've got baby sentiments. Then we've got 2 different essential sets. This one is the 3rd one. I think that's about it off the top of my head. Oh, and of course the alphabet die, the separate alphabet die that come out with the Christmas collection, which gives you all of the numbers and the letters and all of the punctuation to actually add in different parts to your collection. So maybe you want to write Happy Easter, Mary and Bob. So it gives you the ability to do that. But this one is all about the bits that haven't been released in the collection so far. So this is sort of going back and mopping up the bits that we've been asked for and making sure that we've got the biggest collection we can have, covering all of the bases that we could wish for. So on here we have got happy. You've then got Easter, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. We've then got step, great and grand. So that's of course for all of your male and female sentiments that you can turn them into your stepdads or your great-grandchildren or your great-grandson or any part like that that you wish to. But it gives you the ability to bring these in with those pieces and add to them. Mother's and Father's Day are one of the things we was asked for really repeatedly once the collection come out, because we had a mother and we had father, but we didn't have it joined together with the apostrophe and the S's. So now we've got Mother's and Father's Day so that you've got that in one set, easier to use. Uncle and Auntie are ones that were missing off of the male and female sentiment collections. So of course we've now added them in for you. And we was also asked for in-law quite a lot. So again, this gives you all of them sort of additions to not only cover your extra occasions, the parts through the year, the Halloween, the Valentine's, the Easter, but hopefully also gives you the wording that you're going to need to add on to them extra pieces that you've already got from your previous collections we've released. So 13 dies in that set, Essentials set 3 for that one. Of course, same size, same style as all of the original ones, so it's all going to work together. Bringing in just a couple of cards. Now this one was made by Emma Kemp, bringing in the Happy Mother's Day element in the middle. And I also want to share this with you because of the heart. We're going to be looking at this heart die coming up, and I'm going to give you a little sneaky look at how gorgeously embossed this is. To me, this is my heart version of that crescent that we brought out in the previous release, this lovely big crescent with the debossed or embossed flowers. This is sort of a heart version of it, and there's a bit of a secret to the bit in the middle. We'll get to that in a second, or a bit of a hint back to a previous collection, so we'll get there shortly. And then here's a card I've made for Happy Easter, just to share with you how this set is going to work all through the year. We know that we've got Easter, we've got Halloween, we've got Valentine's Day, we've got Mother's Day, we've got Father's Day, but Happy Easter, of course, is a great little addition to add on there. And you're seeing that heart coming again. And here's the secret I was on about. I forgot it was on this one. But here's the secret I was on about. We have got the Moroccan lattice, the same style as the Moroccan lattice dies that come out in the Wings of Wonder collection. I've brought that forward, and I've brought that onto a heart die that fits perfectly in the middle of this one. So if you wish to cut that out with that Moroccan lattice in there, you can do, or like here, you can cut it as a separate entity and put it on top. It's up to you, but I really like my collections to all match together. They might not necessarily be the same collection name, they might not be the same theme, but if you've got this and then you've got maybe the Moroccan lace border, or you've got the Moroccan background, or you've got the lovely swirly one with the dragonfly on it, which I can't remember the name of, it's all going to work together. You can alternate between all three of the original Moroccan dies, bring this one in, and you've got that ability to sort of match. And to me, that's something that's really important. I might never remember the names of half of these products, but I do want it all to coordinate for you. I want it to match in. Then we have got for you the rose blossoms. Now in this set we have got 11 dies, and that gives you all your flower heads, it gives you the little twiddly bit for the middle, and we've got your different leaves and foliage to decorate around here. Now this flower was quite important to me because of, and I'm going to refer to it more as a flower than as a rose, because to me it's down to how you actually use it to what flower you want to create with it. And I'm going to show you roses on the next card that you're going to think, I can never make them. I'm going to do a video, it'll be a separate video, but I will share with you a video as soon as I can, showing you how to make the rose out of this die set. But don't look at it and think you have to make the rose. You can use these just as traditional flowers. They are absolutely beautiful. They've got debossed lines in them that you can highlight if you want to with your inks or with pens. You've got beautiful leaves. It's just a really lovely flower set, but it has the ability to be turned into roses if you want it to be. So if you've got a bit more time and you want to spend a little bit more effort on a particular project, then you've got the ability to take these and cut them about and make some really lovely flowers. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not quick. It's the sort of thing I'm doing in front of the telly. I will cut 5 or 6 of each flower head, sit in front of the telly and make up my roses, and then I will take them downstairs and put them onto my projects when I get back to my craft room. So it's up to you. Use them as flat flowers, 3D them, choice is yours, but it's just a really lovely set to play with and it's going to give you a lot of freedom. Speaking of using them as flat flowers, and I think this is quite a nice card to share with you. I love a gold on black card, and this is sharing with you all of the flower heads, but exactly the same, but instead of making them 3D, I've just rounded them using a bone fold. I cut them in gold. You can see that beautiful deboss style to them, but I'm not convinced if you was to go and survey people and ask how many dyes was used here, how many types of flower, was there 1 flower used, 2 flowers used, several flowers used, whether anyone would guess that that flower and that flower come from the same dye. I might be being naive, but I feel that you would imagine that's at least 2 different sets. And to me, that's the beauty of having a really lovely flower set, giving you the ability to pick how you wish to use them. Bringing in another one of our design team member cards here. This one's done by Diane Williams, and I thought this was a really pretty way to show you how you could layer them as well. So again, just a different style. We've got them rounded down, we've got them sort of pinched up, and then we've got them built into roses, and whatever way you look at them, it works. I'm going to go back to a previous card and show you how we can just crease them using an embossing tool on a mat if you prefer, and we can get that style of effect from them. Let's see, what else did we have here? We've got another one with a paper pad showing you just curving that just in one flat paper. So I really think this is going to be one of them dies that the days you can be bothered to put in a bit more effort, make your roses, and the days that you just want a quick simple card, just round them, shape them, form them, choice is yours. But that's great because it gives you the ability to achieve 2 very different styles from 1 die set. So that's the rose blossoms. We've had a little look at that one. So let's move on to our next one. Now this one, oh, I think this is so cute. I'm absolutely in love with this. I hope you love this as much as I do. This is our teddy bear die set. So in this die set, I've given you 10 dies, and you're going to find with this one that you've got the word love. So same font, same size, same style as the sentiment collection, but he's going to fit onto the heart. So whether you wish to put it onto the actual heart that's separate, or whether you want to put it onto the bear, or you just want to use it around the bear, or maybe you want to use it on something completely different, up to you, but that is going to match in perfectly, so it will all tie together. So again, if you wish to bring back other pieces from this set and put them with it, you can do, but if you wish to use it on its own, you can of course do that too. With the teddy bear, we have got our teddy bear. We have then got our different size hearts. We have got our buttons, which are going to go on top of his eyes, and we can use them as different decorations. We've got a bow tie and we've got a bow, and then we've got the piece for his mouth and his face to sort of come forward if you would like it to. Then we have this piece. Now, I've had a lot of questions already about what this is for. This is designed as a little wand. So if you wish to put it in his hand with a heart on the top there, maybe you want to write on the heart or give him something to hold in that sense, you absolutely can. I also feel, and I haven't used this yet, but if you wanted to, you could turn it around this way and you could put a little red line on it and you could turn it into a thermometer. So if you wish to do a little get well soon bear, I feel that could easily be interpreted as a thermometer, but if you do just want to use it as a little holder to hold things in his arms, then you can do that with it as well. The choice is yours. But hopefully you can see the deboss work on here. That makes it very easy for colouring. If you do wish to cut out his hands or his paws and his feet and layer them, ever so easy to do. I didn't want to take up more space on the die set and give you these as separates because it's just going to make it a dearer set. So instead I've left them on, but I've give you these cut lines. So if you do want to take them off and layer them up, ever so easy to do. And it saves you pennies on buying your die set, or pounds probably actually, but it saves you a bit of money. So it's a better way for us to do it for you. And it is so easy to do. If you wish to just leave him flat, or her flat in this case, with a little bow on the top there, absolutely fine to do so. You're going to notice this rose die from one of my previous releases. This time I've just coloured it, I think if I remember rightly, with watercolour pencils, but this is the joy of the teddy bear. Colour it with whatever medium you wish to, whether they're paint palettes or pencils or pens or alcohol markers, whatever you wish, you're going to get a stunning result. Now, again, I said I'm not going to share many of the design team samples with you, but I could not share this one with you. This one is by Sheila Walsh. How incredibly cute is this? We have got our bride and groom teddy bears, and we've used the little hat that's coming up in one of the sets, and we've got the little corner, actually, for the tiara here on this one. And then we've got the happy couple up the top there. We've got our script stencil in the background, the love letter one. It's all just coming together, isn't it? But these two teddy bears, they just make my heart smile. I think that's beautiful. I think that's a really lovely way to use them. So thank you very much for that one. Of course, if you are a fluffy stuff fan, now I did this one and I do think I've made him look, or her, look a little bit like a pig. So you might not want to go down to that extreme, but fluffy stuff is a lovely medium to add on to the teddy bear. So if you'd like to, feel free to bring in your fluffy stuff. And of course, I think I should have fluffy stuffed the nose as well. I think that's where I've gone wrong, but I do think he looks, because of the sort of, or she looked, with the bright pink nose, I do think she looks a little bit like a piglet. So, but that's fine and quite pretty and a different way to use it. The flowers, I've just gone in with a white gel pen and added little lines where the deboss lines are. That works quite nicely. Another one done here by myself using the teddy bear, of course. We also have the flowers on here, we've got the script on here, and we've got the sentiment on here as well. And I've just used some distress ink over the top of a coloured card and added in a little bit of colouring on the sort of paw prints and ear bits using an alcohol marker. So very, very easy to colour, just mostly coloured card, very simple to do. We then have a little blue teddy bear. So again, entwined heart stencil in the background with some glossy glaze over the top of it, shaded blue bear, a little bit of ribbon to decorate. Then we've got another one done with watercolour pencils, just bringing in that blending, doing a bit of shade in there, adding in the corners and the heart edge that we're going to be looking at shortly as well. So it all ties together with that heart sort of idea, that love and entwinedness coming through. Of course, Everlasting Love's going to do that for us. Then we move on to our wedding essentials. Now, you might have seen with my fairy villages, I'm quite obsessed with making smaller dies and smaller little scenes that you can build up if you wish to, how you wish to interpret them. I'm fully aware that a lot of people like to make smaller cards. Not everyone at the moment has the budget rightly to send large cards. So if you wish to make smaller cards, it's nice to have smaller items to actually be able to make really pretty cards. So we need to make delicate dies on smaller scales to give you the ability to work out what size card you want to be making with them. Sort of my brief, if you like. So here we've got our wedding cake, which could easily be a birthday cake or could be any type of cake. Cake is good at all times. You've got your bride and groom. Now your bride and groom can of course stand on top of the cake. They can also go in the little pagoda, or they can stand outside of the church, or they can stand in front of the car. So they can really be taken to wherever you want them to be within your scene. You've got the Mr. and Mrs. You've also got a set separate ampersand. So if you wish for a chunkier ampersand, you can use that one instead. You've got 2 little entwined hearts. You've got the beautiful little card that you hopefully can see the deboss work on. So if you wish to colour it, very easy to do. Same with the church, very easy to layer it if you want to bring it forward further. Could be used for lots of different occasions, not only weddings. Obviously church is always important. Then we've got our little bells, again, could be used for Christmas as well as weddings and different bits. We've got our clinking glasses, again, great for New Year's Eve, congratulations, weddings, you know, goes through the whole shebang, doesn't it? We can use them a lot. And then we've got our little wedding ring as well. So it's 11 dies in total, and it just gives you the ability to build up scenes and make your cards the sizes you want them to be by playing around with the different pieces. Now, I like big cards, so I tend to always, even if I'm working with a small element, blow it up into a bigger card. So we've got about a 7x7 here, I'm going to guess. But it shows you how you could have stopped at any stage and gone really down to sort of a 2" by 2" card if you wanted it to be. It could be a gift tag, it could be an insert, it could just be a little part on an album or a journal. But if you want to, you can of course carry on building out, build this to a bigger idea. Now, I've used my script stencil in the middle here, little confession. I've actually used it the wrong way around, but don't tell anyone. But if you try and read it, it's back to front. I've only just spotted that. See, shouldn't tell you these things, should I? Then we've got our heart border going round here. We've got our little rose on the corner. We've got the heart die coming up as well. And in the background, we've got the confetti heart stencil too. So it all comes together from all of the different pieces to build up. If we like the look of the cake, this is the cake, of course, used with the little couple on the top here. We've got Mr. and Mrs. down the front here, and we've got a little flower created using our rose blossoms. Then another option for you is to take the cake and put a little heart on the top of it. So maybe we are going back to birthdays or Valentine's Day or any other reason that you'd like to send a cake with a heart on the top. We've got our little flowers. We've got our heart border coming around here. We've got our love letter stencil in the background, again with some glitter paste through that one. But it all just ties together. So these really are little essential pieces that I feel you're going to use many, many times and are just really, really fun to play with. Then just 2 more to go. Oh, I didn't show you this card. I'm going to show you this one because it's small. I know I said about doing small cards and then everything was quite big. So this is quite nice because it's just showing you a little Mr. and Mrs. card. We've got a couple of little corner elements on here, a little heart, and then there's a little couple standing outside the church with their car waiting. And I just thought that was quite a nice little small card that gives you an idea of how we can go smaller if we wish to. Then, penultimate die time. This one is our Lattice Heart Blossoms. So you've seen this already used on quite a few different projects. I've just got a couple of cards to share with you on this one. 5 dies with this die set, giving you 2 butterflies, your beautiful flower part. And then we break it down and we've got the solid heart that we've been seeing used quite a few times. We've then got the lattice part for the middle. So it's up to you. We can of course use that as a solid panel and build up on top of it. We can use that heart die and we can cut out the middle. So maybe you want to use this as a frame in your albums, your journals, or picture frames. What a lovely way to go to a wedding and then send a photo frame with the happy couple in the middle as a gift afterwards maybe. Or we can bring in that lattice part and we can cut that out the middle here to make it even more lacy and even more delicate. So it's up to you how you take the components and play with them, but there's 5 different dies in there giving you the ability to choose how you wish to build that one up. Now, a little card here actually from Siobhan, and I really like this one, and I like the way that she's sort of embossed the flowers because the die is going to do that for you, but she's highlighted them, I would guess with some gilded touch. And you've got that just little gold hint running around the sides there. Very, very pretty. She's picked up on the gold with a Happy Valentine's Day from the Sentiment collection in the middle there. And I just thought that looked really, really stylish and very, very pretty. Then we've got a card I've done. And again, I've taken my little couple from our last die set that we was looking at in their little man stand. And I've built that up with a heart behind it. And then we've got the lovely flower sort of heart behind that. And then behind that, we've got our hearts, of course, the confetti heart stencil. So again, just showing you how all of the collection will hopefully build together and come up to make some really lovely, beautiful projects for you. Then our very last die, and we've seen lots of this one sort of dotted throughout the collection. This is our perfect couple. Now in here we receive 14 different dies. Now you can see you've got your bride and groom and they're separate. This was important to me. I know that we need to sometimes do cards for just male weddings, just female weddings. Maybe you don't want to do a wedding card. Maybe you just want to focus in on an 18th birthday for your grandson or your nephew and you want to just use the male part of it. Maybe you want to do a little princess card and you just want to use her here with her little tiara on or her crown. So to me, it was important to give you them as two separate people, giving you more options on how you use them, where you place them, what you do with them. Then with that in mind, I also wanted to give you the bits that really tick the boxes of what they're for as separate entities, so it's up to you whether you use them or not. You know, if we had have put the bouquet in her hands, that might limit her a little bit more on where you're going to be able to use her. So instead, the bouquet is a separate die, the bow tie, the hat, the tiara, they're all separate pieces. If you'd like to cut just a little vellum veil to go behind there, that could look really lovely as well. And then on top of that, it's all about these rings to me. We've got these two different rings giving you this heart detailing around them. And then I also wanted you to have a matching corner. I've mentioned this many times, but when we're working with circles, we often end up with a void in the corner. And sometimes it's a bit too big to just pop a pearl. The pearl looks a bit lost. So I really love corner dies. And I felt that giving you 4 different options meant that you could pick which one you wanted to use, and you could use them on these cards, on every card. You know, who doesn't like a little heart, that little sort of sign of somebody loves you, and it's going to work for you on every project perfectly. So you've got 4 different corners. You've got your different heart dies separate, the bouquet, the bow tie, the crowns, and of course the top hat as well. And of course our little couple. So when we look at that on a board form, this is what we're looking at. Now on top of this, and I can't pretend I've tried this yet, but when I cut these middles or when I cut these frames, all I could see from the bit that come out the middle was how you could use this for spirelli. Now, I don't know if everyone's going to know what spirelli is. I am going back in the archives a bit of my crafty knowledge, but spirelli is where you take like a metallic thread and you wrap it round and you wrap it round and it looks a bit like a spirograph. I'm sure if you YouTube spirelli, a video will appear, but I'm not convinced that we couldn't use these for some style of spirelli. But even if we can't, what a lovely little layering panel that you've got there. If you nest both together and cut them, this is the style of cut that you get, which I also thought was quite unique and quite a nice panel to share with you. But of course, it's more about this side. These are the bits that we're actually seeing on the packaging that we're going to be using. So you've got your 4 different corners, you've got your couple, you've got all of the accessories to dress them up, and you've got those 2 heart rings. I'm going to bring this up just so hopefully you can see some of the detailing that are on these pieces. So when you do want to build them up, you've got all them debossed bits that you can easily accentuate. With our lovely lady here, I also felt that you could cut up these lines if you would like to and take her dress down slightly. So if you did want it to be a smaller, thinner dress, or you'd like to curve it and round it, it gives you that ability. Or if you want to highlight it, again, you can do with different pens, markers, inks. So it just gives you as many options as I can hopefully give you. Bringing in a couple of cards to share with you. So we've got this one here, of course, using 2 brides, and we've got those nested inside our heart. In the background, we've got the glossy glaze over the confetti heart stencil. Oh, I don't know why I've got that one here. We'll show you that one in a second though. And then on this one, we have got the heart border around the side here. We've got a little love from the teddy bear. We've got our flowers, and we've got the little corners out of this set as well. Now these, again, I said I weren't going to show you many design team samples, but there's just so many I want to share with you. This one is Diane Williams. So again, you can see the stencil being used with some of our glazes over, some blending, I should imagine. But it's really about this top part. We've got our couple, we've got that lovely heart circle, and we've got the corners all coming in together to work together to make up the top of our wedding cake. And I just thought that was a really lovely design. Then our last sample from our design team members, this one is from Jacqueline, and I just thought this was so pretty. Again, maybe it's a prom, an engagement party. It could be so many different things, couldn't it? But this is what I really love about having this couple. You being able to choose how you dress them up, what elements you put on them, what colours you go for. So many ways you're going to be able to use these. And I love the way that Jacqueline's used Aurora flakes here over the stencil in the background, and I should imagine she's gone on with some clear texture paste, put her Aurora flakes on, let the texture paste dry, and then buffed it off so that you just get the flakes stick onto where the texture paste was, and it looks gorgeous. So elegant. And again, that's from our lovely Heart Blossom stencil. So again, showing how everything works together. Then this one's out of sync, so I apologise, but I'm going to share it with you because I thought I was low on samples to share with you. This one is one of the ones I've created using the Lattice Heart Blossoms die set. And it's just a quick, simple card, just coloured in with some metallic marker pens, but shows you how you could use it on top your butterflies. You can certainly highlight all of those flowers around the edge and just make them look really lovely. But again, this could be painted with something like the Cosmic Shimmer watercolour palette. You could be colouring it in with your alcohol markers. You know, it's really down to you what products you're using and how you're going to sort of dress these products up or pieces up. But hopefully this is giving you a bit of inspiration from this collection and showing you why you want it and what you're going to be doing with it. Hopefully giving you some ideas. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments and I will do my very best to answer them for you. But hopefully you'll enjoy this collection. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, it's now available worldwide. So if you would like to get your hands on it, check in with your local creative expression stockist or your favourite creative expression stockist and ask them when it'll be arriving. It shouldn't be far away. Keep an eye on their pages, their social media. I'm sure they're going to be telling you shortly that it's here, but do of course get it. And if you do get it, then share with me what you create with it, because I would love to see what you're making with this. I always say it when I bring out a collection. To me, the nicest bit about it is when you start sharing with me what you've been making with it and I get to see what you're creating. So please don't hesitate to tag me, share them on the posts on my Facebook page, which is Jamie Rodgers Crafts, and just make sure that I get to see what you're doing, because I'm nosy and I like to know what's being created. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope you do get hold of the collection. Let me know what you think in the comments. Speak to you soon. Bye for now. Jamie.